This is TWiT.
Georgia, are you good at it?
Am I good at it? In a short answer, no. In a long answer, no.
I really want to play it.
I'm not good at it. It's just the button config. Like, I think that if I had more practice at a button config that was like similar to it, I wouldn't be drinking potions instead of slashing with the sword, right? Like, that's my biggest issue with it, is that suddenly I'm like hit, but I've actually just drank 3 potions.
It's such a hard game. I've been watching Twitchers, really. I mean, a lot of these people on Twitch are really good at games, and I've been watching them die and die and die again. Fortunately, as you pointed out, when you get clobbered, I hate to use the word die, when your character gets biffed in the game, you don't lose anything. You could go back.
You just lose like some of the cash rewards, like the stuff that you can,
the drops,
which is which is not horrible, right?
This is the game that came out on Thursday. Everybody's been talking about it. It is so hard that the creator, Hidetaka Miyazaki, says, I apologize if you're frustrated.
Don't send him tweets. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. So the Dark Souls games, if you've ever played those, they're widely known. I've never played because I watch Michael, our 19-year-old, play, and it looks like a lot of fun. It's all about bosses. And it looks like a lot of fun. It's so hard, and so I've always known it's too hard for me. But I did buy it because I really wanted to do it. Believe it or not, the New Yorker had a whole interview with Miyazaki. He says death is a feature, not a bug.
That sounds so beautifully
philosophical. Well, if you look at it like that, right? If you look at it like that it's just a challenge that you're gonna like. If you go into the game knowing that you are going to die 1,000 times, and that's just you're there to learn, right? Like, so I guess it could be a good way of dealing with resilience, learning to get back up.
Yes,
right.
There you go.
Fall down 6 times, get up 7. That could be the learning curve that you have to go through when you're playing Elden Rings. But if you look at Elden Ring and you play it that way, like, it's frustrating because you're doing the same thing very repetitively over and over again. But there are ways to beat bosses. I've seen people that are beating bosses that are way above their skill levels are, and people can be amazing at it.
And that's the other thing. It is fun to watch somebody who's good at this because you have to dodge and parry and roll and jump and time, and in a lot of it looks like that you have to really understand the boss's attack sequence so that when your moment has come. You also have to be my problem is I'm too impatient. I just go in there and they go and it's over. You have to be patient. This is from the New Yorker article about Miyazaki. The video game director, who's in his late 40s, has punished more players than perhaps anyone else. In Dark Souls, the 2011 fantasy game that made him famous, you play as a loinclothed wretch, racing through sewers and cowering in forests. You're attacked by a giant wolf, pugilist mushrooms, mephitic swamps, and a sword-wielding spider. If you fail to parry an aggressor's lunge or tumble off a rampart, you're greeted by a superfluous message. You died. After it fades, you're reincarnated beside a bonfire, one of a series of checkpoints scattered throughout this mysterious, vaguely medieval world. Of course, every one of your enemies has respawned as well. I'm glad we finally got the New Yorker treatment for a video game. I think this is very good.
Are you in the Discord, Uncle Leo?
I can. What are they? Oh, stop that. What are they doing? They're posting pictures of me
in a flowery grave. But that's not what I'm talking about.
This is, by the way, me playing Elden Ring. Yeah.
That's how you set it up at home.
Yeah.
You're an elf.
I'm
an elf.
so confused.
So I just put in a video to scroll down to the bottom, not to the top.
Okay.
That's you speaking. And it's a YouTube video. Like, it's a guy who talks about how hard video games are, Asian video games are. You just have to let it play for like a minute. So
he says Asian is a difficulty mode. Okay, this is not racist though, right? You're not going to make me play.
No, it's everyone understands how
he steps on a twig and dies immediately.
Yes, steps on branch.
Stepped on branch.
And then the next one will be, he's like, wait, what? So long story short, it's like breathed air. And then once it gets to a minute, his character dies, and the reason is emotional damage, and he's like, from emotional damage, like it just comes more ridiculous.
Some people explain this. He actually says there's an Asian mode. Some people like really, really hard video games. Why is that? Do you know, Georgia? Do you have an explanation for that?
Yeah, it's one is that it makes them feel like they can do things that other people can't, just like people that do extreme sports. It causes that adrenaline rush. And then you get this huge dopamine hit. So the harder it is to accomplish something, the bigger your brain rewards you for being able to do it. And so building that kind of resiliency and that delay of gratification is one, it's actually really good for us. Like to be able to do that.
Is it the modern
great.
day marshmallow test?
It's the marshmallow that kills you first.
Yes.
Yes, it's kind of like
Georgia,
the modern marshmallow test.
I have a question about that. Would it be is it because the difficulty puts you kind of in a flow state where you can tune out everything else and you're so thoroughly engaged that gives you a sense of satisfaction too?
I love that you mentioned flow state, which is like a really cool thing. So flow state is when you lose time and space, nothing else matters, and you're just vibing. It's just you and whatever you are doing. And like hours could go by and it feels like minutes. Now, for me, I am definitely not in a flow state when I play Elden Rings, but I have heard from a lot of other people that they are, that it doesn't even bother them that they've died. They're just gaining information and learning how to do something better. And so, yes, they can be in that flow state while they're playing this really horrible game. Now, I am not in that state. I am feeling frustrated and angry.
Yes.
So I have not reached that level of gaming capacity.
It's
in Elden
irritating.
Ring.
I don't want to feel bad.
I feel bad about me. It makes me feel
Yes.
bad about myself and my competency, right?
Go ahead. Owen's raising his hand.
As a doctor myself, can I say one?
Please, Owen.
You're a podcast doctor, but okay, I'll take it.
He plays a
Let me
doctor
tell you
on
something.
TV.
First of all, in 2010, I was over Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil in the Apple podcast store. I had real doctors reaching out to me, not understanding why I was number one in the podcast space. So I am, doctor, as my professional, not realistically professional opinion, as I was about to say, we call that the zone, okay? Being in the zone. Fans people call it the flow, but we call it the zone.
Yeah, basketball players hit the zone, football players hit the zone, and then just
everybody hits the zone.
flows. Yeah.
And then let me finish what I'm saying. Secondly, it's the same reason I don't subscribe to participation trophies. It's the same reason I blocked every shot the lead tried to put up against me. I didn't give her nothing because guess what? She cried about it the first 8 times, and then when she finally made a bucket on her own, the joy of actually succeeding was beyond all compare. I raised her and her friends as a genius that I am. I raced them at 4 years old. I beat them down. I raced them at 5 years old. I beat them down. I raced them at 8, so my legs are still bigger than theirs, and I beat them. And to this day, they still talk about how fast I am. No matter how rotund I am, they remember me beating them down in the leg race, and I am the fastest man on earth compared to those children. So it's all about succeeding, but you got to go through the trials and tribulations first. Leah had a karate contest. She didn't practice. I told her, hey, you better practice. She gets up there. She got a little rinky-dink coin, and all the kids got a big trophy that won. She started crying. She's like, why didn't I get one of those? I said, well, you should have been practicing. You got to earn it. So that's what the game's for. When it's hard, you earn it. All the joy when you play on easy, you don't even feel good about yourself. You're like, man, look, ain't anybody watching. I guess I'll put it on easy. You don't feel good about it. But when you're on medium to / hard, all the success, the small victories, the joys, Uncle Leah, the zone, as it were, my professional opinion.
Leah learned that lesson because she went back and she's a champion, isn't she? Champion wrestler.
She is.
Yeah.
Case in point of that too. So she won her little the first girl to win the championship thing in the tournament. Beginning of the season, start off great. End of the season, she had regionals. When you're in, losing, you're out. She lost to this girl. This girl was jacked. And I mean, like, the girl wasn't better than her, but she was just stronger than her. Now Leah's in here eating protein shakes, lifting after school every day. Like, she's out here riding my spin bike. Like, she's like, I got to get weights. So that motivation of when something you have to work for and earn is what does it, whether it's in sports or video games or shoot, even starting a business. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but you got to keep at it. Next thing you know, you're Leo Laporte, you own an empire. out there, San Francisco Bay adjacent.
That's why I've been doing the thumb exercises, the forefinger exercises. I'm getting ready for Elden Ring. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's difficult, but I will prevail.